Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the Kotobukiya Star Wars ArtFX Plus Sandtrooper 2-pack. That's right, the 1/10 scale pre-painted model kit line of Star Wars characters expands, with even more army builders to build up the troops of the Empire. So let's go ahead and check out the Sandtroopers. As you can see, they come in the standard Star Wars black box packaging that fully encloses the two statues within. The front of that box features the Star Wars logo, as well as a look at the two Sandtroopers that are inside the box. And then on the back side, we get a description, as well as several images that show you the various ways you can display the two Sandtroopers on the inside. Now, just as we've seen with all of the other Star Wars ArtFX Plus statues from Kotobukiya, there is some minor assembly required. Upon removing these from the packaging, you'll notice that there are multiple limbs that can be attached to the Sandtrooper bodies here. You've got your legs, your standard torso, and your head, and then there are different arms that you can interchange on there to allow for different display modes. Now, there's an included sheet of instructions that will help guide you through the process of assembling these, but all of the pegs are very easy to figure out exactly where they attach, and they all fit nice and snug. So it's very easy to both remove the arms for interchanging them with the other poses, but at the same time they all hold together nice and firm and look beautiful once assembled. Once fully assembled, the Sandtroopers are in the 1/10 scale, which means they stand roughly 7 inches tall. Just like the Stormtroopers before them, they feature some amazing detailing that perfectly recaptures the look of these characters straight out of the movies. The Sandtroopers, of course, use modified Stormtrooper armor and some unique weaponry, so it does differentiate these from the already released Stormtroopers that we got in the ArtFX Plus lineup. Just take a look at all the beautiful sculpted details worked right into those Stormtrooper outfits, and then they've got the nice weathering going on there. You can see kind of the sand dusting, the little brown tinting on there, as well as the weathered parts that make it really look like they're worn and that they've been walking through the deserts of Tatooine. You'll see lots of great details, especially in the accessories. One of the big differences, of course, on the Sandtroopers is the fact that they have those large shoulder pauldrons hanging off of their right shoulder. And the detailing on these look just as good as you would expect them to from Kotobukiya, as it's got this very realistic leather texture to it and a bright orange color laid on top of black. And then, of course, strapped to their backs are their Sandtrooper backpacks, which are beautifully detailed, exactly as you would expect from Kotobukiya. Just look at all of the cool little sculpted pieces on there, perfectly recreating all of their desert gear that would be strapped to their back for a very cool screen-accurate look. Now, not only do these guys look incredible, but as I mentioned earlier, they come with multiple arms that you can mix and match together for various ways to display these guys on your shelf. First of all, we do get two blaster accessories for the Sandtroopers, a T-21 and an RT-97C. That way you can display these guys just holding their large blaster rifles right out there in front of them, ready for whatever comes their way there in the deserts of Tatooine. But there are also some different poses you can get out of them, such as holding the rifle kind of off to the side and pointing out at something. And you can even get a pose using the micro binoculars, which is actually one of my personal favorites. So the fact that you get two Sandtroopers in this set and you have all these interchangeable arms means you could buy multiples of these sets and really build up a very cool Sandtrooper army. Or if you want a little bit of variance, you can also pick up the Kotobukiya ArtFX Plus Sandtrooper Sergeant. The Sandtrooper Sergeant here was voted on as a Fan's Choice statue at Star Wars Celebration, and comes to the line right alongside the other Sandtrooper 2-pack. Now, he's done in a very similar style to what we've already seen with the other Sandtroopers. You'll notice that his base body is pretty much exactly the same. But there are, of course, a few differences here, such as the different accessories strapped to his left shoulder, the fact that the shoulder pauldron is white instead of orange to show that he's a sergeant, and the fact that he comes with his own powerful RT-97C heavy blaster rifle. Of course, the sculpting is just as beautiful on the Sergeant here, and his paintwork is equally as cool, featuring that same worn and weathered sand textured look right there on his armor. And of course, just like with the others, he does have some minor assembly required, but he does not come with any extra limbs or anything like that, so there's only one way you can piece this guy together. Now, just as we've seen with all of the other ArtFX Plus Star Wars statues in this lineup, each of these Sandtroopers comes with their very own square black magnetic display base. Now, the way that this works is that in the bottom of all of their feet are embedded magnets. This allows them to cling to these display bases and can be positioned anywhere you want to without the use of pegs. These display bases work fantastic when you're wanting to display multiple statues alongside each other. And when you've got army builders like the Sandtroopers here, why wouldn't you? That way you can match these guys up on one base, or you can line multiple bases up side by side and even have them overlapping. Whatever you need to do to find the perfect way to display these guys on your shelf, these bases work wonders for. And the magnets are nice and strong, so you won't have to worry about them falling over. They cling very solidly to those bases. Adding just a little bit more to the displayability of these guys, the heads are nice and ball jointed, so you can actually rotate the heads left and right and even kind of move them up and down at the neck there. So you got Sandtroopers with interchangeable arms, you got these bases that you can position them however you want to, and you can even turn their heads. So you can really get these guys lined up in many different poses, and if you want to get multiples of the Sandtroopers, this allows you the ability to create a unique scene featuring an entire army. So there you go, guys. There's a look at the brand new Star Wars Kotobukiya ArtFX Plus Sandtroopers 2-pack and the Sandtrooper Sergeant. So for more information on Kotobukiya and their products, be sure to visit them online at www.kotous.com and like them on Facebook at facebook.com/Kotobukiya. Until next time.